Hi everyone. As we have heard, heart diseases are very common. 1 in 3 of you will die because of a heart disease, and you likely get your first diagnosis too late, despite the fact that these conditions are treatable if detected in time. So we are developing, through quantum sensor and photonics, a point-of-care diagnostic device that will enable to do mass screening of heart conditions. We are starting with a specific condition, heart valve diseases. Heart valve diseases are common and deadly, but they are treatable if detected in time, so patients can get treatment. The problem is that often patients are not detected in time. And the problem is even worse for women. Women die twice more across the UK for these conditions that should affect both sexes equally because of underdiagnosis. And the market is just expanding because the FDA just changed rules, right? And in the next years, not only even asymptomatic patients will be eligible for this treatment, but what is an effective way to find these patients? So enter what we have built, the LightScope. The LightScope will enable to find patients for valve replacement surgery. And it works like this. You can hold it in your hand, or you can put it on a wall, and I can shine it at patients from a distance, gathering blood pressure, ECG, and heart sounds without touching the patient in just 10 seconds from a single point location scan. And we have then run clinical trials to build several diagnostic algorithms on top of this data. During our clinical trials, we showed that we are as accurate as an expert with an ultrasound. And valve conditions is just like the beginning, because we have shown in clinical trials that we can detect several conditions, but that we aim to bring to the market one at a time. We're also quite accurate. We have also shown that we can capture sex-specific biomarkers that will enable to close the gender diagnosis gap that the current diagnostic gold standard cannot capture. And we also are very accurate for different skin tones. So we are really the only solution that is accurate and cheap enough to be able to deploy at scale. And to just give you an example of why it can be deployed at scale, during our clinical, and how easy it is to use, during our initial clinical trials, we had a 24-year-old semi-professional footballer walking in thinking he was healthy. We shone the laser at him, we were a bunch of physicists, and 10 seconds later we knew he had a heart condition that could lead him to a sudden cardiac death. He had to go to the healthcare system, and he got a GP visit, a cardiology visit, and an MRI, and it was 6 months later that he got the same diagnosis that we gave him in the lab in 10 seconds. So yeah, we are the only one as accurate and cheap enough to be able to enable this mass screening. So I did my PhD in a UK Center of Quantum Excellence, where I worked in a project called Quest, Quantum Sensor for Healthcare in 2050. And my co-founder was a Columbia University, and then he was he started his career at a company that was in the MedTech innovator, and he took the R&D team all the way from pre-seed to Series A. One of our notable investors is Dr. Udo Hoffmann, Chief Scientific Officer of Clearly, a company that raised 400 million. And we are a feeder for downstream imaging and treatment for valve diseases. Our team is on the ground in Texas to execute commercial pilots, and in Europe we have contracts worth up to 3 million. And now we're looking for investors here in the US that can help us de-risk key aspects of our company. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Luke.